Howdy.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our YouTube channel. Guess who?
Yeah.
It's your girl, Ange,
Lamar.
and we are Lamar and Angela. If this is your first time joining our family, welcome.
Welcome.
But if you are a return visitor, you already know what today is. And you
Coco.
already know what I'm about to say if you're a return time visitor. Because Lamar, guess what?
It's September 2nd.
It's not September 2nd, it's September 1st. And you already know what that means.
It's dinner time.
Why are you playing games, y'all?
It's 12 o'clock p.m. somewhere in the world.
I'm sure it probably is, but that's not what I'm talking about. Today is September 1st, and every month, on the first of the month, we go live for it's the first of the month. So grab your checks and get up. Hey, it's the first of the month.
I'm gonna have to listen to this one day since you like
I
it so
cannot
much.
believe as many first of the month lives that we've had, he has not heard Bone Thugs and Harmony. What are we gonna do about this? What's up with that? Well, welcome to our channel. If this is your first time visiting us, again, you are welcome. Take your shoes off, get comfortable, just like this one did. She's already comfortable too. This is Coco.
Yeah, it's Coco.
It's our little puppy.
It's Coco Chanel.
Coco Chanel. She look at her. She's trying to fall asleep.
Good. She won't be sitting there yelping and carrying on.
Very true.
Screeching.
Very true. Coco is asleep, and Louie is around here somewhere about to sleep as well. But anyway, welcome to our channel.
Yeah.
We are a expat couple who in 2020 looked around after the pandemic was over and looked at our life and thought, is this it? Is this all there is? Got up, go to work, come home, go to bed, and that's it. So we decided to change our life and to create an abundant life, because we were really looking at the scripture, John 10:10, that talks about when Jesus says that you can have life and have it more abundantly. But what does that actually mean?
Yeah, and it's different for everybody.
Yeah, it is. And so we set
different.
off to try to find what an abundant life looks like, what it feels like, and we wound up in Mexico. But if you saw the title of this video, we left Mexico, and we're going to tell you why in a little bit. But Lamar, how you feeling today?
I'm feeling pretty good. Things are going pretty good health-wise. So we found a chiropractor.
We did.
So we found a chiropractor, and that's making me feel better because I had some pains. So that's good. Puppies make me happy.
Yeah. And it's September. Can you believe it's already September? Y'all, this year has flown by. I mean, just like crazy flown by.
It's like lightning. It's just so quick. And sometimes I try to think about things that have happened. And sometimes I'm like, wait, hold up. What happened last week? Wait, last week we did.
Yeah, right.
And oh my goodness, that was 3 weeks ago.
That was 3 weeks ago. That was a month ago. That was
right. Yeah.
So we have recently began to really take a look at the world and look at all kinds of other places. And so we decided recently, if you looked for us last month, you will have saw that we weren't able to do our first of the month live because we were on the road.
Yep, we were on the road, and then in the air.
On the road, and then in the air to a new destination.
Yeah.
You want to tell them where we went?
We went to space camp.
Stop! What do you think, man? let me go. I'm just going out of here. Let me stop playing.
We went to a country in Europe. We went to Portugal.
We did.
Yes.
We went to Portugal, and we were in Portugal.
Lisbon,
Portugal.
Yeah.
Shout out to our friends and our very good buddies,
Rick and Alice
of Our Black Utopia.
Yep.
If you have not checked out their channel, please do so.
Please,
Check them out.
please. Very cool couple.
Yes. But we were hanging out with our friends in Lisbon, and so we left Mexico in order to travel to Lisbon.
Mm-hmm. And we party.
We did.
Yeah, we party. Woo, 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 woo.
Is that what we did?
Oh, 1960s, 70s.
Party. Wait.
Party.
So you're going to party, but you don't know Bone Thugs and Harmony?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah. Just like this video talks about, we have left Mexico. Actually, we've left Mexico several times for several different destinations.
Yeah.
And we wanted to talk about those different destinations right now as we kind of evaluating our trip abroad and the experiences that we've had and all that kind of stuff. One of the really great things that we had as an experience is just being able to go to another expat location where other expats have gone and love, and just kind of see what they like about those particular areas. This year we have traveled a great deal internationally, I would say.
Yeah, that's a good amount.
Mm-hmm. We went to South Africa.
Yeah.
And got to experience South Africa. There are a lot of expats that live in South Africa and love South Africa. And then there's a whole big community of Black expats in Portugal. Yeah. So we wanted to discuss our impression of Portugal and our impressions of South Africa, whether or not we might be looking at a move to those locations, maybe. We want to discuss and just kind of give you guys what our impressions of both locations were, just in case you are considering moving to either South Africa or Portugal, and just kind of give you what our impression was.
Right.
Before we do, though, and shout out to all of our subscribers who are on right now. We just want to give a quick mwah to you guys that say hello. Say hello to you guys.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for tuning in.
Thank you.
But I wanted to talk about this part in particular because when we were in Portugal, remember when we were walking back from the beach? What did you say to me when we were walking back from the beach? It was a beautiful day.
Yeah, it was a beautiful day.
Absolutely beautiful day.
Yes, it was.
In Portugal.
I was talking about the fact that I just asked the question, can you believe that we are currently in Portugal?
Right.
And for me, I would have never thought that I would be in Portugal.
Hey, Michelle.
I never thought I would.
It's
okay. I never thought I would be in Portugal, or even going to South Africa. I think, well, it's not like I hadn't been out of the country because we've been to Ethiopia.
Oh yeah.
So
we've been to Costa Rica. We've been to Ethiopia. We've been to the Dominican Republic. We've traveled.
Yeah, we've traveled.
Bahamas. We've traveled.
But however, I'm young. I'm 62 years old, and my parents never traveled. I don't believe. As a matter of fact, I know for a fact that my mom never left the United States.
Oh yeah.
My dad did because he was in Korea. He's a
Korean vet, and that's how he used to say
Korea. And so, but that's the only reason he was out of the country for any amount of time. But for me, moving around was always stressful to me.
Right.
But as I've gotten older and seeing what's happening to classmates, friends. People were getting sick. People were no longer with us. I wanted to make the best of my life, for myself and with you, to be able to travel and see different things. I'm a picky eater. Yes, I am a little bit. I'm a little bit of a picky eater. Yeah, but I've been trying some different foods, things like that. I've been trying to. And there are some things when I look at, like when I was, I think it was Portugal. We saw some things that had eyes in it, and then there was squid, and I was not couldn't do that. But
I was proud of you. You did stretch out of your comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
And he did. He was starting to look at other different foods and start to try to
not squid. No,
yeah, well, okay, well, but within reason.
But I've actually grown a lot with my food choices.
You have.
And so, but I'm glad to be able to experience different cultures, be around different scenery, and just to experience what it feels like in another area. But in actuality, when I was in Lisbon, other than the architecture and things like that, and some of the vegetation, it's no different than being maybe in Maryland or anywhere else. It helps you understand that there are differences in culture, there's differences in architecture, there's differences in vegetation or trees that you might see.
Right.
But the people were nice. They were very friendly. We went to a restaurant with Rick and Halisi and had we broke bread together, and the young ladies there were really kind and sweet, and we had a good time walking around. And the culture is different because we went for a walk with Rick and Halisi and went up to a spot where they have a little cafe and an area where people get together and eat, drink, play music, jazz. They sometimes have live bands there. And they're just chilling and having a good time.
Yeah.
And I never really would see that in the United States a lot, when folk would just, they get off work and just go and have a good time. And it doesn't have to be Friday night for something like that. The view from that spot was
fantastic.
Is breathtaking.
But what struck me as very key and pivotal about that whole conversation was that I was vividly remembering back in 2010, 2011, 2012, when I was really actively considering or just musing about moving abroad. And this one was not, never, no, don't want to go, yuck, boo. And just the fact that he was now walking back from the beach back to the beach house that we were staying in and going, wow, can you believe we're in Lisbon? Can you believe we're in Portugal? Wow. It was like, whoa. So what would you say is the difference between that guy, the guy that I married back in the day?
2004. We've been married 24 years this year.
Yes.
Not 24. 20 years.
20 years.
20 years this
married
year.
20 years.
Yes, in 2004.
Correct. What do you and back in 2004 when we first got married, if you were just would not, it absolutely would have been a no-go, no-show, no ham, no turkey, no ma'am. What do you think is the difference between that guy and this guy? Just in case there's some other guys like that are out there and maybe watching this video and they have a wife or a spouse. It could be a woman who's doing that or saying that same thing.
Just putting your toes in the water. I know that when we went to Ethiopia, that was, and then eating Ethiopian food, having injera.
Oh yeah.
or
Dora
Wat,
Mm.
and then experiencing that culture, being there, because that was
That's another story.
trip that really made me appreciate what I had back at home.
Okay.
But also to experience the people, the land. We went on a trip one Sunday, and how green it was, and it started me going, what else is out there? What else is out there?
So you're saying that dipping your big toe in the water, or your pinky toe in the water, was enough to make you start getting a little more curious
I shared this with Angela. My dream vacation. Someone asked me this years ago, trying to get to know employees. What would be your dream vacation? It was to follow the Formula One circus, calendar for a year.
I'm down.
And they travel.
Let's go.
Formula One travels to just different countries: Japan, Singapore, Australia,
Bahrain,
Italy twice, and they were there this weekend.
Canada, which we did go to.
Belgium,
England,
Australia. Where else? Of course, they come to Mexico, South America, to Brazil.
Don't they do a Spain?
The Spanish, great. That's Barcelona.
No, not Morocco.
Monaco. I mean,
that would be exciting.
That would be a great,
I'm down,
great experience to be able to do that for a whole, calendar year of their races.
Have passport, will travel.
Yes, and so to be able to not only just go to the race, but to also tour the surrounding areas, cities, townships, the people.
So you had that as a thought, but when we were talking about the idea of actually moving
is stressful
abroad.
To me. Moving is stressful to me.
I think it's stressful but if it's not stressful to you, moving is not stressful to you, indicate that in the chat, because I don't know, who is it not stressful for?
Yeah.
And we moved around a lot as a child.
Here, even in Mexico, we moved once already, and to be able to sit down and do it all again. However, going to Portugal, spending time with Rick and Halisi, meeting new people, their friends.
Shout out to all the crew in Portugal, the Blacks in Portugal.
Yes,
that we had such a fantastic time.
Yes, it was a lot of fun.
Fabulous, fantastic couples.
Good
there. Good people.
Yeah, we had a.
If y'all are watching, hey, what's up, y'all?
Yeah, it was absolutely.
It was fun.
Just fantastic. And
so, what do you appreciate, or what would you say was something that you could see in terms of if somebody was moving to Portugal or was interested in Portugal, that you'd be like, yeah?
I see it every day with Penny and
June.
Oh. Yeah, Penny and June. I see posts from them on TikTok, and they're just having such a great time. They're fantastic. I tell you what, and Angie said I took a liking to Penny because she reminds me of my cousin.
She does,
and she does. But she's really sweet. So is her wife, June.
Fantastic.
Both fantastic people, but I see them out all the time, and they're relaxed. They are, there's no stress, and stress is a killer. And I have. Since leaving the United States, I've lost weight. I've lost 20 pounds.
Yeah.
So just to have...
Not even really trying.
Right.
Yeah.
To be able to breathe different air, be in different places, be around different people, getting different perspectives.
But what did you like about Portugal?
Portugal, I enjoyed the atmosphere. Walking down the street was interesting, but... narrow sidewalks, but I mean that's that old world architecture and design. The climate was nice, just like here in Mexico.
The climate was nice.
The food was good.
The food was really good.
I would say just to look at something different as far as the buildings, because it gave a different look. Because
You're talking about the architecture
yes,
of the buildings?
Watching movies and things like that are set in Europe, you see things, but you don't really see them up close. There were castles that we saw there, forts, things like that. The cobblestone streets, so it just gave me a different view of life, and how I want to continue to live my life until my time runs out.
Right.
And so that's what I'm looking for every time I go somewhere, is to enjoy it, to have fun with you and friends. I can't say enough about this experience, and us moving to Mexico.
But what would you, okay, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I wanted to stay on the vein and thought of Portugal. You've talked about some things that you liked about Portugal.
I dare say that you can live a life of abundance there, being there, enjoying life without having any kind of pressure on you.
Speak. What do you mean?
The whole get up, go to work, go to bed. We've been on sabbatical for a little bit.
Yes.
But I think that if I had to go back to work, it would definitely have to be remote. And I see that a lot of people in Portugal, they work remotely to have a better actual work.
Europe has a better culture about remote work.
Yes.
And just a work-life balance, period.
Well, I said this before. In the United States, I think that whole catchphrase of work-life balance it's just a talking point. It's not a reality. They don't live it in the United States. They talk about it, saying work-life balance. But when you hear on calls and meeting calls where people are saying, how come you're not putting 12, 14 hours on your timesheet, or you're not working well after hours? How come you're not available?
Oh yeah, you got here at 7 and you're leaving at 7 p.m. already.
Right. Or not being available, and they call you and say, I had a question about a certain project or system. Wait, hold up.
Did you get my email that I sent at 12:25 a.m.?
Right.
And expect you to have that answered before they get to work. They're like, what?
That kind of stuff is just not cool to me. And so this is why I think a lot of people get burned out.
Yeah, for sure.
And they're tired of that, constant driving you. And especially when you work a lot of hours and you're not getting paid for those.
Yeah.
But that's what we're talking about as far as living life abundantly. It doesn't mean you don't work. You can work. It's not being treated like a slave. It's not someone just constantly micromanaging you, telling you got to work. That kind of stuff is for the birds.
For sure.
You can keep that. But yeah.
Okay, so what didn't you like about Portugal? Was there anything that you didn't like?
Living in town is not me.
Oh yeah, but I think that would be not you
anywhere. No, I living in an apartment.
You're not a city guy.
No, living in an apartment or something like that, and then wanting to keep certain things that.
Oh, yeah.
Here, and people hear me talk about it all the time. I talked about it today with what's his name at church. But anyway, the pilot. And having the experience of actually participating in my hobby has been a thrill for me since moving to Mexico.
They have tracks in Europe.
Yes, they do. And so if there is, and I'm sure there probably is maybe one or two, maybe more than that in Portugal, it's just understanding or knowing where they are.
Yeah.
But
that's not
that right there. As long as I can have that, I think I'll be good.
I know something that you definitely would not like moving to Portugal
What's that?
or anywhere in Europe. The plugs.
Oh, yeah, that I
You
would.
could not bring a lot of your stuff,
Oh, I could bring it. I just have to have a whole bunch of adapters.
a whole bunch of adapters to try to.
Whole bunch of adapters. Yeah, that whole two-prong plug deal there. It definitely is different. I would have to have a ton of adapters for everything
Yeah.
that I own as far as hobby equipment, audio visual equipment, things
Some
like
of the
that.
ways that they when we went to the grocery store, the grocery store experience was quite interesting because, first of all, the Portuguese language is not like Spanish, for sure. And I think but it's similar, but not. It's kind of, but not. So if you know Spanish, that was a little different for me.
It'll help. But
it helped a little, but no, put it like this. It helped a little for certain items because the word was the same or very similar, or it was close enough in the ballpark that I could kind of figure it out. It's the pronunciation of the language that.
Is it dolce?
No, oh, you talk about, like, for example, well, that's like a whole different word.
Yeah.
We were in the grocery store. We saw a sign for apples. And the apples they had like this big display picture of all kinds of different apples. And then they had them all lined up at the bottom. And on one side, it had a Granny Smith apple, which I know is very tart. And then they had at the other end, like a Honeycrisp type apple, which I know is very sweet. So I went, okay. I think they're trying to, and they put in between like Golden Delicious and, all those kinds of little other types of apples in between.
Right.
So on one end, I'm seeing this word that I don't recognize. And then on the other, where the sweet side is, I'm seeing doce, which looks like
dolce.
Sweet. No, I thought it was doce in Spanish is 12.
Oh, doce, yes. See,
it's 12.
Yeah.
It's 12. So I was like, what are they saying about 12? Why is 12? And then it dawned on me that their word for sweet is dulce, whereas the Spanish word for sweet is dulce. So I was like, oh, okay. And so it was like a little bit of a language kind of weird experience like that. But it was, the pronunciation of.
It's also a guttural language.
Yeah, it was like someone, a friend here in Mexico said, speaking Portuguese sounds like Spanish with marbles in your mouth. Yeah, that's it. That's exactly it. It feels like Spanish with marbles in your mouth because it's very, that besides it was something I had to kind of get used to.
Yeah.
But anything else that you did not like about Portugal? Oh, that water was freezing. Oh my gosh. We were at the beach. The water was.
This is not hyperbole. This is not a joke. When we stepped in the water, it felt like you put your foot in ice water.
In a tub of ice water.
Like any athlete out there that would probably understand this is taking an ice bath. Yeah. That's what it was like. It was the water was that cold.
It was that cold. It was like, wow, their water.
When I pulled my feet out of my foot was starting to have that numb feeling like you would have with an ice pack on your foot for 5-10 minutes. Cold.
Which I wasn't expecting that. I was kind of surprised by that.
That wouldn't have been refreshing. That would have thrown me into shock.
Well, I guess maybe if we had been sitting out in the sand and had been out in the hot sand, we were up on the boardwalk,
but going from
under a umbrella with a beverage.
But going from a hot temperature to that kind of drop,
shockingly cold.
Ooh,
Yeah.
That's what it would have been. It would have been out.
Yeah. But other than that, it was a
Oh.
very wonderful
Yeah.
time, and I can definitely see why some expats are attracted to Portugal. I can definitely see that.
Yeah.
We also got to travel this year to South Africa.
Yeah.
Now, while we were in South Africa, we got to experience Cape Town. We got to spend much more time in South
And
Africa.
we partied again and hung out with Rick and
Oh,
Elise.
yes. And hung out with our friends again and had a wonderful time. But we got to spend time in Cape Town, in Johannesburg, and Durban. Mm-hmm. So what did you like about Cape Town?
Cape
or
Town,
just South Africa in period?
Cape Town was a beautiful town.
Mm-hmm.
The view that we had from the Airbnb was great.
Oh,
you could see out to the bay, the port where the ships were coming in. It was really, really pretty. Traveling out to, we took the wine tasting tour.
Oh,
it's beautiful country. Beautiful country. I mean,
South Africa is very beautiful.
The mountainside. I mean, we were at one venue and we just stood there and I just kept looking at the mountains going,
yeah.
I mean, you're talking about majesty.
Yeah.
It was really, really, really pretty. Just so you know, I'm not very much of a drinker. That way, I like a glass of wine from time to time.
Neither am I.
I don't know anything about wine tasting. So I was drinking the wine.
No, whoa. They were pouring the wine. They usually, when you go to a wine tasting, they pour you just a little. You take a little sip, you spit it out, and you keep it moving.
Right.
They were pouring us glasses.
Glasses of wine.
Glasses.
Ooh, my head was.
Our group was lit. By the time we got off, by the time the evening was nigh, we all. That whole bus, we were all toe up from the flow up. It was good though. It was fun.
But just traveling through the countryside like that in those formerly held, I don't know if they still are formerly held Dutch townships,
their independence. But
and then you see in zebra, not zebra, zebra,
right?
Zebra,
lots of zebra,
and some animals, ostrich. We saw some ostrich while we were there. We went, which was a great experience, down to the actual Cape,
the Cape of Good Hope.
Yes, and we sea lions
and penguins.
They're huge, huge, stink, huge though, stink, but magnificent creature. And then we saw the penguins. That was a great trip. That was a really great trip. But what did you like about just in general of the? Can you see why there are some? Yes, I can see why. I mean, if you like being in a city where conveniences are close, there were tiendas, stores in different areas throughout the city where you could go and grocery shop or get things. Kind of a European kind of little bit. Being there and going to visit different museums, which we did. We went to
while we were in Cape Town.
We went to the
Apartheid Museum. Well, no, that was in Johannesburg.
Yes,
but we went to. We actually got to see the opening of the Bishop Tutu Foundation,
brand new, and they had just closed, and it was neat because we walked up, and the guy, one of the curators, was Gary Close. He says, "I'll give you a personal tour," and he gave us a personal tour.
Personal tour.
Oh, it was
favor ain't fair.
Yeah,
it just really is.
She even got a signed.
Yes, I did. Now, full disclosure, Bishop Tutu is my one of my heroes, one of my absolute heroes, and so I was thrilled. Got to see his car and all of that. It was fantastic.
A little Toyota, was it? It wasn't anything special.
No, it wasn't.
He was a very modest man.
But it was a great trip. It was a really great trip. It was a really great trip. And one of the things that I appreciated both in Portugal and in, of course, South Africa was that there's a large, of course, you'd expect that in South Africa, but in Portugal, I was rather surprised by the large Black population there. I was very surprised by that. I was very pleasantly surprised because, I mean, we've been in Mexico and we just didn't have what we used to have growing up in the DMV area of the United States. And then also just being able to be in certain areas that, you know, but there was a large, very large population of Black people, and not necessarily Black people who were from the United States. They were from Brazil, born in Portugal, people from Africa, people from other parts of Europe that were also Black and came to or were in Portugal. It was just like, oh, wow. As a matter of fact, when we were in Brazil, I mean, when we were in Portugal, people thought I was Brazilian. And came up and start speaking Portuguese like I knew what the heck they were doing. I was like, no, I'm sorry, no. no. I don't know. I don't speak. Okay. But it was fun. That was very interesting. South Africa, of course. There was tons of skin folk around. So that was, of course, very nice. And you could kind of blend in a little bit.
Sort of
kind of, not really, because, you know, you could always tell someone who's not from that area. And definitely I think we stood out looking like American, Black American people or what have you when we were in South Africa, for sure. Especially when you open your mouth. They're going to know that you're not from here.
So we went from Cape Town to Johannesburg.
Now, what did you like about Johannesburg?
Sorry. Look, what clouded Johannesburg?
Yeah. You got to speak on it.
The rolling blackouts. And they are scheduled. I don't know how people plan their day around this, because if you're getting your kids up in the morning for school and the power's out from 6 a.m. to 9.
Did the power go out
in the morning? Yes.
No. When we were in Cape Town.
No.
I think that was because we picked a very good Airbnb that had backup power.
I don't remember power going out in that area at all.
I think we picked a very good B&B.
It's not even the Airbnb. I don't remember the lights being out in the area, period. So if anybody did not have battery backup or any kind of generator, I don't remember seeing it. But in Johannesburg, oh my, that right there, to you get up in the morning, you have to have the app on your phone so that you know when they're scheduling the outage in your area, so you can plan accordingly. And
the power issue.
It's because the grid is not able to sustain the constant draw because it's so behind. And so they have to shut it down and cut it over. And a lot of the stores, a lot of the vendors have generators sitting out front because
they have to. They
can't do business unless they had generators in order to keep their businesses open.
Which was absolutely crazy that you would have a little shop and have like a portable generator pulled out in front of your little shop, running to power or supply electricity to your shop while the power is out.
And to find out that there are areas where you pay enough money, you don't have that issue. And it's an area where affluent folk live. I'm just going to leave it right there. It's just not cool. And the city was fairly clean in most places we went. They were digging up. It wasn't terrible.
You didn't go for that walk when I went.
Oh,
the walk that I took because we were downtown. We were downtown
near the old
the stock exchange
area, and what used to be the De Beers. No, is it De Beers? The Diamond family that owned that building.
We were down that.
We could see it right off our outer window.
And so that we didn't have that Airbnb had issue too.
It had little critters running around inside of it that.
Why are you talking like that? It had roaches, y'all.
Yeah,
it had roaches. And they moved us to another unit that had some critters in there too.
Yeah.
And then it was like,
it used to be an office building.
Yeah, it was a former office building
and
that
they
they turned into condos. And that, which, you know, the location is prime because it's close to a lot of stuff. But unfortunately, the roaches were stomping all up in there, you know. That was a mess. So I think Johannesburg but Johannesburg actually was where the apartheid museum was and is. And if you go to South Africa, you have got to
go see
that the South African
apartheid.
The apartheid museum. It is fantastic. I have been raving about this ever since the very first time I went in 2004, 2005. It was fantastic, still is fantastic. And I must admit, I am a museum snob. Coming from being born in DC with the Smithsonian, I'm used to quality.
It's a great museum. It really is.
That's well done museum.
Well done.
Very well done.
Footstep part of it to take you through different things, and then that last part, the experience where you pick those colored dowel rod sticks to determine what
for sure
tribe or what where you were supposed to be, what happened to you.
It was a really good experience. That was really good. So that's what you didn't like.
Well, no, I like the museum.
Oh, okay.
The museum I liked. It was the rolling blackouts and the roaches.
You didn't like.
I did not.
The food was good.
Food was good. Oh, no problem.
The food was good.
Food
was really
city
good.
Was from a high view, the city was okay. I'm not a city person. But if you like the city, then it's the city views and things like that were fine. It's just that whole rolling blackout thing. It just killed it.
Killed the vibe.
Yeah, it killed the vibe.
Okay, Durban.
I just hate it.
Oh yeah, it was. No joke.
Oh my goodness. And the thing about it, since we lived and came from the DMV from Maryland, during the summer between July and August, the humidity and the heat is just oppressive. We got off that airplane and got out on the street. And I was like, geez, are we back in DC? Good God.
And we were not prepared, y'all. Listen, we were not prepared.
Oh my goodness. I said, I haven't felt this kind of drenched, wet
sweat. My God. Oh. We had not prepared. We were not prepared for that. And then also living in Mexico, in the part of Mexico that we live in Querétaro.
Humidity is a big goose egg most of the time.
There's hardly any humidity. We're up in the mountains, so it's kind of cool-ish. It's like if it gets hot here,
it's
hot
from the
is
sun.
It's from the sun. And then it's also because of the
higher elevation
that it feels hotter, but it really isn't.
The sun is up at about 10ish, up overhead, straight up, not around noon. So it's like boom, 10 o'clock, and but if you go in the shade here, it cools right down.
Right.
But there in Durban,
the humidity was like 90%. It was like
being
hot. Back in DC. It was hot. We stepped off that plane and got out the airport, and it was like bam, poof, pop. Was whooping our butt with the humidity.
Yeah,
because Durban is right on the ocean, on the Indian Ocean side of South Africa. So that they get all of that warm tropical air or the water that's coming down and all that kind of stuff. So that was that was very. But how do you feel like the experience of just walking around and all that kind of stuff?
It was still hot. But it was, being close to the beach, we were real close to the beach in the Airbnb where we were. We were real close to the beach. but then it rained.
Oh, yeah. That's what kind of, that's
it rained
what really,
the whole time that we were there.
It did. And that's what messed up the Durban experience. It
Yes, rained the whole time.
After we got there, I think that first day or so was cool. And then after that.
Yeah, because we walked to get some things to maybe cook breakfast with or whatever.
Right.
There was a store nearby we walked to. It was humid, it was hot. Then we walked on the beach line and came back.
Yeah.
Then the next day,
just rain the rest of the time, which was very nice because we cuddled inside.
Yes, we did.
But we had a wonderful time as far as that's concerned. Just being able to spend time and relax and decompress and just all that kind of stuff. No kids, all that. That was fantastic.
Right.
But we didn't get to do as much as I would have liked
to done in Durban. Yes. I wish I could have seen more of Durban.
Yeah.
But the experience in South Africa was great, especially Cape Town. But then it also gives you a different perspective. Mm-hmm. Being in Johannesburg, there's a level of poverty there that helps you to appreciate what you have.
There's a level of poverty in Cape Town as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Some of the neighborhoods.
So the experience of being somewhere else gives you an idea of how other people live, how things are going there, and then also saying, "Wow, I've got it good." Not having to experience some of the things that they're experiencing, and I hope that this is corrected in the near future for everybody, that they can have a better life, because it bothers me to see people being still held in bondage in a different way with regard to their income and ability to have just a great quality of life.
But you know what? It was the flip side. It was the flip of that when we went to Canada.
For sure.
It was the flip side of that, because when we went to Canada, we were looking at we went to, what year was that?
2019.
2019?
Mm-hmm. It's my birthday.
Oh, right. And we've gone to the Canadian
Grand Prix,
the Formula One Canadian Grand Prix, and happened to be walking through the park on
to get to our Airbnb.
To get back to our Airbnb on a Thursday in the afternoon. It was like around 2-ish in the afternoon. And the park was crowded. And it wasn't even like summertime or anything like that. And so we were like, is there a holiday or something? I mean, this park was crowded. It had families out on blankets and tossing frisbees,
playing tennis,
laid out on
soccer balls,
laid out on the grass with a glass of wine,
playing guitars,
reading a book,
sitting there with their girlfriends, friends,
laughing, joking, playing soccer with a ball and all that kind of stuff. And we were like, why is this park the middle of the day? Why is this park so crowded? What is this, a holiday? No, it's just a regular day. And that's what started us thinking, wow,
we're doing something wrong.
They've got this culture actually.
But that's that European culture that we saw in Portugal.
Yes, true. We saw that too.
And so I would love to, in the near future, and has to be covered, because if I go to Italy and it's not like this weekend and I don't hear the Formula One cars, and then go experience the culture the week after. So my idea is to go there for the race, and then the week after tour the city, all that, because the race is held in the Royal City.
Okay.
So it's in the Royal Park.
Okay.
To be able to go there, tour, and right near Monza, they have the Ferrari factory.
Okay.
So all that.
I'm mad as long as we get to go.
Yeah. So I mean, to go to different places like that, to see and have the food. Get to know the people a little bit, see the scenery.
Now, I will say, if we go to Italy, we need to, I'm not even going to talk about that pizza that time in Sicily, but we have got to allot at least 2 weeks a 1 week for Rome period, because it just was was just so much that I just could not get it all in, and it just was a lot. So
yeah, I mean, think about it. If it there, Belgium,
yeah, and then hop from there. Yeah.
But to go to the Belgium Grand Prix is right before the summer vacation that they have. So
okay.
But to go to places like that in Europe to experience, to give you an idea, in the Airbnb, the refrigerator is like a college dorm refrigerator.
True.
It's small because you keep your staples in there. You know, some butter, maybe some cream, things like that.
But that's how their culture is. Their
and
culture
then
has
on the corners,
smaller...
right? On different corners, you have these tiny grocery stores. You go and get your fresh meats, vegetables, and stuff like that to cook dinner in the evening. People get off work at a reasonable time.
Refrigerators in Mexico are kind of small too.
Yeah,
they're not that big, because you go to a tienda for or fruteria to get your fruit and your vegetables.
Go to the butcher to get your meat.
Get all that locally fresh.
Go to the panderia, get your bread. And you know, here they load up on the small loaves at the panderia.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they love, but they are. But learning about here, the French influence here. That's why
the French influence on
pastries and breads and things like that. That's why the bread has a very French baguettes, things like that. It's just learning different things.
It's really good.
And so I would hope that there are people out here, if you have a spouse out there that's kind of iffy on seeing different parts of the world, please work on them. Please work on it, because you're missing out. You're missing out. I'm telling you, you're missing out on different things in the world. Yeah, I am picky about food and stuff like that. I will try it once, but if I don't particularly care for it, I won't go back to it, but I'll try it. Except for squid. I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
But you know, or just
I'll give you that on the squid. I'll give you that on the squid. Or cow tongue.
Cow tongue or
cow tongue tacos.
Here. Yeah, no. I mean, tacos El Pastor here is good. I mean, but that's just, you know, different cuts of pork layered together, kind of like a gyro, and when they cut it. But
are you glad that you got out of your...
Yeah, I'm glad I got out of, and there are certain things that I've found that I actually like. The real spicy stuff here, no. I can't. That doesn't make it enjoyable to eat when your mouth is like
on fire,
like feeling like it's on
the face is melting
on the surface of the sun. I mean, it's just, but they enjoy it.
And Mexicans lie to you, by the way. They lie.
Yeah,
they lie. When you say, "Is this spicy?" They'll say, "No, no, no. I feed this to my baby."
You feed this to your baby?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Your baby's walking around going, blowing flames all over the place, and they're sitting there in the kitchen playing with flames shooting out their mouth, and
as a punk.
Yeah,
as a punk, because the hot stuff. I
made the mistake getting tacos El Pastor one time, and they had the condiment on the table. And
it looked like
coleslaw.
It looked like coleslaw,
but the orange
and Lamar put a whole heaping bunch in.
And it wasn't. It was habanero peppers. Oh, that stuff was spicy. My skin. The only time I actually felt like that. Well, there's other times where I've been sweat like that was
that pizza in Ethiopia. With the Burberry.
It didn't have Burberry on it.
The pizza didn't?
No, but they had a pepper on that thing. I mean, it was, and I saw this green. I thought maybe it was like, just regular bell pepper.
Right.
No, that had me sweating. I mean, that pizza was spicy.
It was. It was. No doubt. No doubt.
Just to experience things like that. Like, I still remember in Ethiopia getting the pizza, but also getting the soda with the scratchy glass bottles. The bottles, they recycle the bottles there, glass bottles, and they've got scratches
I remember when we used to recycle glass bottles in the States.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, they don't even melt them down. They just clean them, reuse them, and they have imperfections on them, and that's how they do stuff. But I think it's good for the environment.
So, wrapping up our live, because I don't want to be on.
Yeah.
Keep you guys. Thank you all for
tuning in.
For tuning in. But would you say you would like to leave Mexico to try some other destination?
I don't know. I mean it. If I could find another place where I could see, this is what it hinges on. People don't know. I'm gonna say it again. Yeah, I'm gonna shout it from the mountaintops. I'm having such a great time racing my cars here, and the guys are so great here, and I'm having such a good time with it. If I could go to another place and pick up that experience and have a nice house to live in, I would say that that's a possibility. That would require money to ship that there. I would want that stuff there, but as long as I can do that and go race, because I'm going racing next Sunday. I
don't know who this man is.
I'm going racing.
Who is this guy? Who is this guy? This is not my husband. Who the heck is this guy?
Look, when you have people, it takes on a new meaning when people who are young pass away. Dawn. She wasn't. Sam. When young people, it gives you a different thought on life, and when you cross over a certain age, you start to think about, okay, what else can I do before I leave? Because we talked about it in church, about how young people have somewhat of a invincible type of mentality.
It's can't happen to me.
Can't happen to me.
Yeah.
No. But I am grateful to be here at 62. I would be thrilled to be here at 72, 82, 92. And if I can still do this with a remote control and race cars and hang out with the fellas and do that kind of stuff I'm good. Along with being with my beautiful wife.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I still don't know who this guy is because I'm surprised. Well, spoiler alert, we have not left Mexico in that sense.
Right.
Like we're leaving Mexico. We absolutely still love being in Querétaro.
Yes.
And I love it here.
Yes, I do too.
But I hesitate to say, this is the end of the road for us because I would have never thought in 10 years ago, 5 years ago.
What did it for me, and I've talked about it, is the pandemic. It's one. Being an essential worker person now, I have to say, management was fantastic. They know who they are, Joan, Stefan. And so that made it easier and bearable. The problem is that it was the way it was handled by some people there, coming there. Every time I saw the Serve Pro trucks there, I knew somebody had contaminated a spot in there and they had it roped off in yellow tape.
Right.
That and I still to this day, because he's still around, running his mouth, PTSD from Donald Trump. And people can put in, I love Donald Trump, whatever. I can't do it. The lies that he tells, just listening to him talk about the fact that I knew nothing about the camera crew or anything like that. So that's what that catapulted me into God made the nest uncomfortable. But then I also was like, what else is over here?
Right. And that's really what, if you have not made the move, or you're thinking about or contemplating making a move abroad, or just changing your life, or even just looking at different ways that your life can be abundant in whatever shape, form, or fashion that means to you.
Right.
We encourage you, go ahead and make the leap,
Yeah.
because you are missing out. You are missing out on having a life that really brings you satisfaction and happiness. And maybe even a new perspective, a different change of venue might incorporate into your life. Who knows? Who knows? But we definitely plan on bringing more of that in the near future, in terms of traveling a lot more to see some other areas. We got a whole bucket list of places, not only here in Mexico, but also in other parts of Latin America and in Europe, that we want to check out and see what the world is looking like.
Right. Absolutely.
Okay.
All right.
Well, it is time to put this one to bed, because she's been asleep on my lap the whole time. I just woke her up.
I don't know where her brother is.
He was on my feet, but he just moved. And so we want to say thank you. Coco says, thank you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in to my mommy and daddy's channel. I'm going to go to bed right now. So I'm going to go get something to eat and go potty.
Come here.
And then I'm going to
say
bed.
Hi? Louis, come here. He's kind of heavy. Come here, buddy. Come here.
Louis, otherwise known as my shadow.
Oh, my goodness.
You can't pick Louis up. Louis is too heavy. Now, would you believe that these two are siblings? They're sibling mates. Look, they're siblings. But Coco was the runt of the litter. And Louis, hold him up a little higher. You see how big how much bigger he is, and they're the same age.
Yeah.
Or what have you.
6 months old.
Yes.
Hi, puppy.
They are 6 months old.
You give kisses. You give kisses.
Awesome. So if you have any questions, or if you have any things that you want to ask us about our trip, or ask us about our experience here in Mexico, be sure to leave that in the chat. We will answer that as well. And we'll be back with you guys next month.
Yep. We sure will.
And probably a little bit sooner, because we got some videos. We are long. I apologize. Louis, we are overdue for our videos, but we have been living and loving life.
Yeah.
So,
Louis,
say goodbye, Louis.
It's Louis Vuitton.
Louis Vuitton and Coco Chanel. All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in. We love you guys. We love you guys as a part of our family.
Yes.
And they love you too. Bye, y'all.
Bye. See you.